Ay magandang umaga. Sabado ngayon, I will treat you with something dramatic. Ito naman ay makikita mo rito yung babaeng killer. Tingnan niyo kung paano niya babaeng killer. So ito po yung ipapakita ko sa inyo, pakinggan ninyo. At makikita mo sa mukha ni Colonel Roy Nagarma na dating General Manager ng Philippine Charity Sweepstakes Office ay parang natatalapan na siya ng pagsisisi. At isa ito sa mga kwento na bagong nilabas niya, which is pinakabago. Nakuha ko na ngayon yung relasyon kung paano pumasok si Colonel Edilberto Leonardo sa grupo ni Duterte na siya ngayon ang pagkakaalam po na pinakaunang bagay na alam ko sa kanila. Siya po yung tinatawag na financier na babayad. Kasi papatay ng mga pulis, siya rin ang babayad. Yan ang mga babayad. Kumain, pakinggan natin si Colonel. Wala, hindi. Inilit ko lang. Pagkikuan na. Inilit. Hindi, bago lang. Okay. Hindi na. Nagising ang asawa ko sa niluto. Pinainit ko na salmon. So anyway, magandang umaga po sa lahat. No? I will treat you with something. No? Kaya mamaya, magtulog ako, magising ako, so at magka-classic ako sa Master of Law sa Pamantasan ng Luzon, Manila. Kaya I will treat you with something that is substantive. Ito. Ito po si Colonel Roy Nagarma.
See any objections from any of the chairs of the committee nor the members? Sige, please, basa mo lang ang iyong
Thank you, Mr. Chair. On September 12, 2024 and September 27, 2024, I was invited to serve as a resource speaker during the recent legislative inquiry conducted by the Joint Committee on Dangerous Drug Public Order and Safety, Human Rights and Public Accounts of the Honorable House of Representatives regarding the investigation into the war on drugs of the previous administration. During these hearings, I was asked several questions concerning my knowledge or involvement in the deaths of 3 Chinese inmates of the Davao Penal Colony and the death of General Wesley Barayuga, all focusing on the alleged extrajudicial killings of the aforementioned individuals. I was also questioned about my relationship with the former president, as well as my career as a police officer and my tenure as the general manager of the Philippine Charity Sweepstakes Office. Throughout the hearings, I answered questions from the committee based on my personal knowledge. However, I did so with great apprehension as I recognized that my statements on national television could significantly endanger my life, the safety of my family, and other very close to me. After considerable reflection, I am now executing this affidavit to provide a comprehensive information to the Quadcom regarding everything I personally know about the war on drugs during the former administration. On May 2026, I received a call from the President, Rodrigo Roa Duterte, at approximately 5 a.m., instructing me to meet him at his residence in Doña Luisa, Davao City. I was already acquainted with the mayor, having served as the station commander in one of the police stations in Davao City during his tenure. During our meeting, he requested that I will locate a PNP officer or operative who is a member of the Iglesia Ni Cristo, indicating that he needed someone capable of implementing the war on drugs on a national level, replicating the Davao model. The Davao model referred to the system involving payment and reward. The Davao model involves 3 levels of payment of rewards. First is the reward if the suspect is killed. Second, if is the funding of planned operations. And the third is the refund of operational expenses.
Colonel Garma, can you speak louder? I'm sorry, speak closer to the microphone.
Dito makita, umiiyak din pala ang killer.
Initially, I informed the president that I was unaware of any individual with those qualifications, as I had not been assigned outside of Davao City or had served in the national capacity within the PNP. However, I recalled my upperclassman Edilberto Leonardo, who was heading the Criminal Investigation Detection Group and was also a member of the Iglesia ni Cristo. I mentioned his name to the president. On the same day, a certain individual named Muking contacted me to request for the phone number of Leonardo's contact details, which I promptly provided. A week later, I learned from Arthur Narsolis via phone call that Sir Leonardo had been summoned and was instructed to proceed to the Royal Mandaya Hotel in Davao for a meeting. Leonardo informed me later that he stayed at the hotel for almost 3 days, during which the president directed him to organize, according to Sir Leonardo, a task force which he understood as PAOK-TF. When Leonardo relayed this information, urged me to join the task force, I declined first, citing my lack of experience in handling said operations. Leonardo subsequently informed me that he had prepared a proposal routed to Bongo outlining the task force, which would encompasses Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao. I am afraid of my life, Mr. Chair, and the life of my relatives and my friends and classmates.
So masabi ko lang dito, ito talaga ang leksyon sa buhay nito sa ating lahat. Ay huwag kayo makipagkutsaba sa mga boss nyo kung gagawa ng illegal. Ito na ngayon, no? Ito na ngayon. Takot siya na papatayin siya.
Subsequently informed me that they had prepared a proposal routed to Bongo confirming the task force operation which would encompasses Luzon, Visayas, Mindanao. He also
Ulitin ko lang, stop ko lang. Nasabi, narinig niyo binabanggit niya, na siya po ang nagrekomenda kay Duterte nitong si Colonel Edilberto Leonardo. Dahil hinahanap ni Duterte ang PNPA na opisyal na miyembro ng Iglesia ni Cristo. Kung ano man ang dahilan niya, kung bakit miyembro ng Iglesia ni Cristo ang hinanap niya, ay hindi pa natin alam. Basta, nirekomenda siya ni Rowena Garma. So, at gumawa ng proposal si Colonel Leonardo, Edilberto Leonardo, At doon, yung proposal na kada may mamatay, may reward. At kung gagawa ng operation, merong operation fund. At kung may gastos sa operational expenses, ibalik. Ganun po ang tatlong klaseng pera na pinag-usapan nila dyan. So lumalabas, tama po ang aking informasyon na nakuha ko noong Disyembre pa lang. Last December. Kasi po, last December, nang pinapalabas ko yung mga patayan sa Manila City, kagaya yung pagpatay ni Colonel Major Sabulaw doon sa isang natandaan niyo yung nag-viral na riding in trio. Sa riding in trio, makikita mo doon na may nagmamaneho ng motor at ang nagmamaneho ay na yun, nakita nyo, sa likod niya, mayroong nakasakay. At sa likod pa ng sa gitna nakasakay, may nakasakay pag isa pa. So, yun po ay makita ninyo na viral pa. Tapos, tumigil sa di kalayuan, siguro mga 30 meters away, sa kabila ng kalsada, tumigil muna ang mobile ng Malati Police Station. Nang tumigil, tapos may kanto dito sa harap na may CCTV, tinarget nila sa lugar ng may CCTV, lumabas ngayon yung nakamotor. Ang nakamotor, nakasakay, riding in trio sila. Nang palabas, na tumigil pa at parang sinadya na tumigil at hinihintay si Major Sabulaw na naglalakad mula sa mobile police ng Malati Police Station. At paglapit, sabay bunot si Sabulaw ng baril niya at binaril niya yung sa gitna. Patay. Tapos sabay karipas ng takbo itong motor. Tapos nahulog yung nakaupo sa likod ay hindi naman binaril ni Sabulaw. Yun pala ang totoong kwento doon na nakuha ko. Yung pinatay ni Sabulaw sa gitna ay PWD, Person with Disability. Ngayon, ang nagmamaneho sa motor ay pulis din yun. At ang nakasalikod na nakasakay ay pulis din. Sa madalit sabi, sinadya talaga ni Major Nablabuka Sabulaw yun. Ang huli kong alam, nasa Batangas ata siya, doon siya naka-assign at colonel na siya ngayon. So, naalala ko pa nga, binigyan pa siya ng regalo ni Bato de la Rosa. At ayon sa nakuha ko sa mga colonel din ng mga pulis, sa WPD, yung mga colonel na nakukonsensya, sinabi nila na itong si Colonel Leonardo nung araw na yun pala, yun ang nagbibigay ng reward na 30,000 pesos kada patay. Tapos kung may operation, siya nagbibigay din ng pera. Kaya pala ganon, siya pala ang nirekomenda ni Royina Garba kay Duterte at siya ang gumawa ng plano kung paano gagawin at sa kanya nanggaling ang lahat ng pundo. So kung ganon, nakonfirma na ngayon na si Edelberto Leonardo din ang talagang, ibig sabihin, totoo, nakonfirma ko na totoo yung sinasabi ni ni Napoleon Untalantan na binigyan siya pinangakuan siya ng 3 milyon kung mapatay nila yung 3 Chinese doon sa Davao Penal Colony. At kasama niya sa pagpatay dyan, yung isa rin nakakulong, kagaya niya, na si Rolando Andy Magdadaro. So, nung pinatay, 3 milyon pangako, pero binigay ni SPO4 Arthur Narsoles ay 2 milyon lang. So, ito si Arthur Narsoles na nagbigay, sinasabi niya noon kay Napoleon Untalan na ang nagbibigay ng pera doon sa kanya para ibayad doon ay si Colonel Leonardo, na boss niya. So, ito na ngayon, confirm na. So, ibig sabihin, pasok na sa kahon itong si Colonel Leonardo. Wala na ito. Ito na mga ebidensya at ito pong dahilan. Ibig sabihin tama lahat ng impormasyon na nakuha ko nung sinisiwalat ko siya. Na sa kada patay sa Manila ay siya ang nagbibigay ng reward. So, yun pala. So, pagpatuloy natin pakinggan yung pagsisisi ni Rowena Garma. Ang problema dito, makukulong po talaga siya nito. Ano na lang mangyari sa anak niya? Iiwanan niya na may sakit. Ito po ang problema. Kaya kayo po na nakikinig sa akin ngayon, huwag niyo po na gagawin yung makipagkutsaba kayo sa boss niyo para gumawa ng krimen. At ito po, yung sinasabi nga sinasabi ni George Lacoin, ang kasabihan na nasa huli ang pagsisisi. Sinabi din ni Lorenzo Mercurio, Garma is the queen of crocodile tears. Paawa effect, mawala siyang awa sa mga biktima at sa mga pamilya ng mga biktima, dapat lang makulong forever. Si Ma'am Matit dyan sa Bacolod, maayong aga sa inyo tanan. Tapos si Robert Maxalis, hindi sinasabi kundi nila binabasa. Okay, pero at least naiyak siya. At least ang pag-iyak mahirap kaya magiging artista. Lalo pa sa quad committee ang kaharap mo. So Imelda Talaugon, maayong aga, Dr. Engineer Toto Bunyog, Kausing for Senator. So, sino pa? So, yan lang muna. Pakinggan natin tuloy-tuloy ang drama ni Rowena Garma na marami ng pinatay.
So, inquired if he and his classmates could have a courtesy call with the president through Bongo for a
Hindi
photo
Aguilar,
opportunity.
shout out. Oh, isa pa pala nakalimutan ko ha. Dito po na-confirma na si Bongo ang kanilang boss. Si Bongo ang crime leader nila. Dito si Leonardo ang financier, si Bongo ang boss. So kung si Bongo ang boss, lahat ng pinapatay dito sa Metro Manila ay kay Bongo halos lahat dumadaan. Imposible na hindi alam ni Bongo. So yan, confirm na. Okay, pakinggan natin.
Considering this, I thought it prudent to invite also my classmates to join the courtesy call. So in the presence of Colonel Bakay, Villela, Grijaldo,
Shout
Tuzon,
out
and
kay Eddie Aguilar.
Dueñas,
Edel Aguilar.
the member of class 97 and 96 were accommodated in separate rooms at the DPWH office in Panacan, Davao City. The president did not enter our room, and I was unaware if he visited the room of class 96. After the courtesy call,
Plus
Leonardo
96
informed
kasi
me
ito si Leonardo
that
eh.
the structure of the mentioned task force would undergo changes. In June of 2016, Leonardo has transferred from Manila to assume the position of the chief of the CIDG Region 11. During the initial 3 months of the assignment, I facilitated all meetings between Leonardo and Bongo at Leonardo's request. Subsequently, they established direct communication.
Oh, guilty na si Bongo ha. Huwag niyo iboto yan.
Leonardo informed me that he had recalled several trusted personnel, namely Lester, Romel Bactat, Rodel Serbo, Palma, Peter Parungo to serve as operative for the task force. Notably, Bactat, Serbo, and Palma were, for now, discharged from the police service.
Kasi gumawa ng krimen, kaya discharge. Natanggal, pagka-pulis.
Romel Bactat, Serbo, Palma were all former police officers stationed at the CIDG 11 office. They were discharged from the service on or about a year ago due to an operation that led to the killing of one individual.
Sino
Lester
kayo pinatay
Barganyo
nun?
is a provide citizen, while Peter Parunga was a former detainee of CIDG due to a charge of rape that has
Ay,
been cleared. Romel Bactat, Serbo, Palma, and Parunga were charged with the task of collecting and verifying informations provided by police officers in the field concerning arrests, deaths of individuals named in the list of drug personalities, and creating summary reports. All of these reports would then be encoded and compiled by Lester Berganyo. The compilation is thereafter elevated to Sir Leonardo, who will decide what level the arrest or killing was and its corresponding reward. Rewards were only given for killings, while for arrests only for the funding of Copland and refund for operational expenses was given.
Duterte.
I saw how these individuals operated when I would visit my friend in CIDG 11. He conveyed that the task force would be structured differently and that he submitted a document to Bongo detailing the task force operation,
Si
including an
Bongo talaga,
overview
oh.
of the current drug landscape in the
Si
Philippines.
Bongo sa pagpapatay.
I was informed that the drug structure originated from Bucor, where numerous drug lords are currently incarcerated, and that it has three branches, Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao, with Peter Lim involved in the Visayas region. Once the task force became operational, I later learned that all Copland's funds, refunds for operational expenses, and rewards for agents were processed through the account of Peter Parungo. Currently, Lester Berganyo maintained a comprehensive list of the drug personalities of the Philippines. Leonardo conducted briefings for all PIDEA, IG regional directors, and PNP chiefs regarding the drug situation. Additionally, if any individual died during police operations, Leonardo will report the incidents to Bongo for inclusion in the weekly report and request for
Ganun.
refunds of operational
Reporting
expenses.
directly to Bongo. So alam ni Bongo kada may
Leonardo
patay.
had final authority to determine who would be included in the list of drug personalities
Si Leonardo
and to
nagdetermine kung
classify
sino ilagay
their
sa
threat level
drug
as well
list.
as the discretion to remove individuals from the list. Furthermore, in 2016, while I was at the CIDG office following up the appointments of my personnel, I overheard Padilla discussing drug activities at the Davao Penal Colony with Leonardo. Padilla specifically identified certain Bucor officers involved in drug trade, notably mentioning an officer named Ginto, who was subsequently killed along with other Bucor members. These are the critical facts I personally know regarding the drug war of the previous administration. I am prepared to provide additional details and information in a supplemental affidavit or during an executive session at the discretion of the committee. I affirm the truthfulness and accuracy of the above statements to assist in the investigation by the Joint Committee, Your Honors.
Mr. Chairman.
Go ahead, SDS.
Mr. Chairman, alam mo, papasalamat ako kay Ma'am Garma. And no, alam po natin ang nararamdaman mo. Pero kaya ako umakyat, nanonood po ako sa TV, sa baba. Mukhang itong committee na to parang pinilit ka para magsalita. Kaya ka umiyak. Baka sabihin ang Quadcom pinilit ka para magsumite ng affidavit at basahin mo. Umiyak ka. So gusto po namin kasi na pakita mo talaga na kusang loob ang sasabihin mo dito sa Quadcom. Wala pong sapilitan at galing po sa puso nyo ang pagsasalita. So kaya po ako umakyat, nasa baba ako, kausap ko yung mga ibang kasama natin. Ma'am Garma, alam ko naman po yung sitwasyon nyo. May nanonood po sa atin buong Pilipinas, lalo na sa Mindanao. Alam ko po kung ano nararamdaman nyo. Pero pakita nyo naman po, in the interest of fairness of every Filipino,
Congressman Dong Gonzales.
pakita po natin yung fairness dito. Kung titingnan nyo po yung mukha nyo sa TV, ang analisa po namin, parang itong committee na to, which is ako na bigla, may affidavit kayo. Kaya ako po sana kung pwede, kasi hindi po naintindihan yung mga binabasa nyo, yung mga nanonood. Yung affidavit nyo, hindi po naintindihan yung mga televiewers natin. Kung kayo nandito, naintindihan nyo, pero pag nasa TV kayo, hindi nyo po naintindihan yung mga sinasabi nyo. Mr. Chair, on that note, kung pwede po, magpahingat siya, huwag siya umiyak, sabihin niya lahat in a clear reading, in a clear words. Ako po, I move sana para basahin niya ulit yung kanyang affidavit, Mr. Chairman. Salamat po.
Siguro, Miss Rohina Garma, we will give you time to be composed. And we cannot blame you doon sa inyong emotion. Ako rin, nabigla din ako doon kasi it's a sudden turnaround, no? From the last mga hearings po natin. And suddenly, we will be receiving an affidavit like this, no? Siguro, malapad lang pong sabihin natin sa committee to kung somebody forces you to execute an affidavit like this. That a while ago, the reason why we're asking Congressman Manuel to hold his gun kasi nga I was able to see the affidavits and I really wanted to read muna for a while. And 4 pages lang naman po yun. So nakakagulat din po yung nilalaman ng inyong affidavit dahil a complete turnaround. So meron po bang pumilit sa inyo para i-execute itong affidavit na to?
Wala po, Mr. Chair. It took me 1 week to make some reflections po.
And what
And,
pushes you to execute?
I realize the truth will always set us free, Mr. Chair. And at least I will be able to contribute if we really want to make this country a better place to live and for our children. I think we have to.
Nakakaasar tingnan, no? Ang dami-daming tao. Nung sa kalakasan, ay gagawa ng krimen. Tapos sa bandang huli ay nagsisisi, iiyak. Tapos napatay na yung pinapatay nila. Ano na lang kaya mangyayari dito? Pakinggan natin ulit pa.
To do something para maibalik po yung trust sa PNP, magkaroon po ng reform sa PNP, and yung tiwala po ng mga tao, whether victims of criminals sa gobyerno.
Kanina po may
Yun yung
sinasabi kayo na natatakot kayo sa buhay niyo at sa pamilya niyo. Saan po kayo natatakot?
Of course po, it's normal, Mr. Chair, when you speak the truth, you cannot please everyone. And it's normal to anybody to have that mixed emotion. But still, it took me 1 week to make reflections. And I realized I need to do my part po.
Dahil po ba sa relasyon niyo sa nakaraang administrasyon kay former president? Kaya po ang damdamin niyo po ay mixed emotion?
Normal lang naman bilang tao po, Mr. Chair.
Pero what prevailed after a week of reflection is I always say the truth will always set me free.
We are
I
helping.
want a better place, a better PNP, Mr. Chair.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, Ma'am Garma, we are all on the same page. Kaya ginagawa po natin to para sa taong bayan. Maayos, yung PNP, mawala, ang extrajudicial killing, yung drugs. Kaya nandito po tayo. Yung sinasabi niyo po, we are totally agree on that. Kaya gusto ko lang pong i-clear at sinagot nyo na walang pumilit, nag-meditate ka for how many days before you prepared that affidavit na bigla nga ako ngayong Quadcom hearing na meron po kayong affidavit. So on that note, Ma'am Garma, pag-compose na po kayo, ayos na po kayo, pwede nyo po ulit basahin ang inyong affidavit. Salamat po, Mr. Chairman.
Okay.
Okay. SDS, are we going to ask Ms. Garma to read again
Please, Mr. Chairman.
yung kanyang affidavit, no? We hope...
Bakit pa
kasi
ulitin pa
kanina
ba?
medyo hindi ko rin po naiintindihan, no? Luckily, I was able to read na yung ating
Hindi
affidavit.
nila
So,
naintindihan.
siguro kung compose na po kayo,
Kaya ako naintindihan ko eh.
para po maintindihan. Kasi napaka-importante po nito, no? Nung binabasa ko din po,
Hindi,
medyo
nalaman
na-shock
ko
din
yung
po ako.
sinong
So,
in-invite na po doon.
basically, siguro, we will give you another
Yung
chance
sa Pampanga.
para po
Hindi mo
mabasa
marinig
itong
doon ang
affidavit
salita.
as requested and moved by SDS
Kasi
Dong
with
Gonzales.
regards.
So, now, you have the
Kaya
floor
napansin
again,
ko na
Ma'am
ngayon si
Rowena
Dan
Garma.
Fernandez tsaka si Karap sa hindi nasalita ng with regards. Okay. Wala na.
On September 12, 2024,
Inulit basa.
September 27, 2024, I was invited to serve as a resource person during the recent legislative inquiry conducted by the Joint Committee on
Ma'am,
Drugs.
can you put the mic a little bit closer to your mouth, please?
Yes, sir. During these hearings, I was asked several questions concerning my knowledge or involvement in the deaths of 3 Chinese inmates at the Davao Penal Colony and the death of General Wesley Barayuga,
Oy,
all
si Maring
focusing on the
Odette.
alleged
Galino.
extrajudicial killings of the
Watching.
aforementioned individuals. I was also questioned about my relationship with the former president, as well as my
Basta ka daw,
career as
sabi
a
ni
police
Au.
officer and my tenure as a GM of the Philippine Charity Sweepstakes Office. Throughout the hearings, I answered questions from the committee based on my personal knowledge. However, I did so with great apprehension as I recognized that my
Yan ang
statements
killer.
on national television could significantly endanger my life, the
Tatanong si Maring
safety of
Odette
my
kung yan ang
family,
killer.
and
Yan ang
other
killer
close
na
to
babae.
me. After considerable reflection, I am now executing this affidavit to provide a comprehensive information to the Quadcom regarding everything I personally know about the war on drugs during the former administration. On May of 2016, I received a call from the then President Rodrigo Duterte at approximately 5 in the morning, instructing me to meet him at his residence in Doña Luisa, Davao City. I was already acquainted with then Mayor Duterte, having served as a station commander in one of the police stations in Davao during his tenure. During our meeting, he requested that I locate a PNP officer or operative who is a member of the Iglesia ni Cristo, indicating that he needed someone capable of implementing the war on drugs on a national scale, replicating the Davao model. The Davao model referred to the system involving payment and rewards. The Davao model involves 3 levels of payments of rewards. The first is the reward if the suspect is killed. Second is the funding of planned operations. Third is the refund of operational expenses. Initially, I informed the President that I was unaware of any individual with those qualifications, as I had not been assigned outside of Davao, nor had I served in a national capacity with the PNP. However, I recalled my upperclassman, Edilberto Leonardo, who was handling the criminal investigation detection group and was also a member of the Iglesia Ni Cristo. I mentioned his name to the president. On the same day, a certain individual named Muking contacted me by the phone to request Leonardo's contact details, which I promptly provided. A week later, I learned from Arthur Narsolis via phone call that Leonardo had been summoned and was instructed to proceed to Royal Mandaya Hotel for a meeting. Leonardo informed me that he stayed at the hotel for 3 days, during which the president directed him to organize a task force similar to PAOK-TF. When Leonardo relayed this information and urged me to join the task force, I declined, citing my lack of experience in handling such operations. Leonardo subsequently informed me that he had prepared a proposal routed through Bongo outlining the task force operations, which would encompass Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao. He also inquired if he and his classmates could have a courtesy call with the president through Bongo for a photo opportunity. Considering this, I thought it would be prudent also to invite my classmates, Bakay, Vilela, Grijaldo, Tuzon, and Dueñas, to join the courtesy call. The members of Class 97 and Class 96 of PNPA were accommodated in a separate room at the TPWH office in Panacan, Davao. The president did not enter our room, and I was unaware if he visited the room of Class 96. This is 96, sir, not 97. After the courtesy call, Leonardo informed me that the structure of the intended task force would undergo changes. In June of 2016, Leonardo was transferred from Manila to assume the position of the chief of the CIDG in Region 11. During the initial 3 months of this assignment, I facilitated all meetings between Leonardo and Bongo at Leonardo's request. Subsequently, they established direct communications. Leonardo informed me that he had recalled several trusted personnel, namely, I met Lester Berganyo, Romel Bactat, Rodel Serbo, Michael Palma, and Peter Parungo to serve as operatives for the task force. Notably, Romel Bactat, Rodel Serbo, and Michael Palma were all discharged as police officers. Romel Bactat and Romel Serbo, Michael Palma were all former police officers stationed at CIDG 11 office. They were discharged from service on or about a year ago due to an operation that led to the killing of one individual. Lester Berganyo is a private citizen, while Peter Parungo was a former detainee in CIDG due to a charge of rape that has been cleared. Romel Bactat, Rodel Serbo, Michael Palma, and Peter Parungo were charged with the task force of collecting, verifying informations provided by police officers in the field concerning arrests or deaths of individuals named in the list of drug personalities and creating a summary report. All of these reports would then be encoded, compiled by Lester Berganyo. The compilation is thereafter elevated to Leonardo, who will then decide what level the arrest or killing was and its corresponding reward. Rewards were only given for killings, while for arrests, only the funding of the COPLAN and a refund for the expenses was given. I saw how this individual operated when I would visit the CIDG office in Region 11 to see my friend Lot Lot. He also conveyed to me that the task force would be structured differently in that he submitted a document to Bongo detailing the task force operation, including an overview of the current drug landscape in the Philippines. I was also informed that the drug structure originated from Bucor, where numerous drug lords are currently incarcerated, in that it has 3 branches, Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao, with Peter Lim involved in the Visayas region. Once the task force became operational, I later learned that all Coplan funds, refunds for operational expenses, and rewards for agents were processed through the bank accounts of Peter Parungo at Metrobank, BDO, and PS Bank. Concurrently, Lester Berganyo maintained a comprehensive list of the drug personalities in the Philippines. Leonardo conducted briefings for Orpidea, IG, regional directors, and PNP chiefs regarding the operations. Additionally, if any individual died during police operation, Leonardo would report the incident to Bongo for inclusion in his weekly report and request for refunds of operational expenses. Leonardo had the final authority to determine who would be included on the list of drug personalities and to classify their threat levels, as well as the discretion to remove individuals from the list. Furthermore, in 2016, while I was at the CIDG office, following up on personnel appointments, I overheard Superintendent Padilla of Bucor discussing drug activities at the Davao Penal Colony with Leonardo. Padilla specifically mentioned certain Bucor officers involved in the drug trade, notably mentioning an officer named Ginto, who was subsequently killed along with other Bucor members. These are the critical facts I personally know regarding the drug war of the previous administration. I am prepared to provide additional details and information in the supplemental affidavit or during an executive session at the discretion of the committee. I affirm the truthfulness and accuracy of the above statement to assist in the investigation by the Joint Committee on Dangerous Drugs, Public Order and Safety, Human Rights, and Public Accounts of the Honorable House of Representatives, the Quadcom. Mr. Chair.
O yan ha. Ang klaro na sinabi niya. Lumalabas na si Bongo ang humahaway kay Colonel Leonardo. At si Colonel Leonardo ang lumalabas na nagdidesisyon kung sino ilalagay sa drug list at kung sino kukunin. So iyan ngayon ang pattern. All the while, so ibig sabihin, nung 3 Chinese na pinatay, kay proyekto ni Leonardo yun. At kung nangyari man nandun si Garma, yun yung initial nila pagsamahan, pero lumalabas din na si Garma din na nagplano kung paano papatayin yung 3 Chinese sa Davao Penal Colony. Kasi iyon ang unang project na nagkasama sila ni Leonardo na nakilala natin, nalaman natin. Dito pala, lumalabas na pag-umpisa pa lamang ng pag-war on drugs na to, si Leonardo talaga ang lahat ang nag-umpisa. Siya gumawa ng plano. So, kumbaga, sinunod na lamang ito at pinapatupad nila ni Bato. Ganun pa mangyari at pinapatupad nila ni Albayalde. So, si Leonardo ang pinagsimulan ng lahat nito. Isang PNPA graduate. Graduate siya noong 1998, pero dapat gumraduate siya 1996. Kaya lang na-turn back siya. Kaya may problema siya ata. So anyway, what is very clear now here is that the clouds are getting clear. At mawawala ng clouds, malalaman natin ang mukha. Dito sinasabi niya si Digong talaga lahat ang nag-umpisa at tiniwala niya kay Leonardo ang pagplano. At katabi si Bongo na siyang nag-aaproba at siyang at nagre-report katuwig may mangyari, may mapatay at kung ano man ang ay nire-report ni Leonardo kay Bongo. So it's all in the bag now. So sa totoo lang dumadami na rin ang mga ebidensya. At ang problema lang natin ay kailan na ito maipipersa. Pero sa ngayon, si Leonardo ay natanggal na, nag-resign na kasi natakot siya matanggal sa National Police Commission, ay nag-resign na lang siya. At si Garma ay pareho po silang nakakulong ngayon sa kustodiya ng House of Representatives. Yung naalala niyo si Colonel Santi Fuentes Mendoza, na siya ang kinontak ni Leonardo. Nagsasabi na kinontak siya ni Leonardo para patayin si General Barayoga. At ang ginamit naman ni Colonel Santi Fuentes Mendoza ay kinontak niya si Nelson Mariano. Si Nelson Mariano ay maraming hawak na killer at ang kinuha na killer para gumawa para pumatay para kay General Barayoga ay yung pangalan niya ay Luloy. Si Luloy na yun ay taga Santa Mesa. So yung Luloy, makita nyo sa CCTV na napakagaling bumaril. Nag-isa siya, wala siyang kasama. Siya nagmamaniho ng motor at nung bumunot siya ng baril, nagtutuloy-tuloy siya ng motor at tumigil ang motor dahil matraffic. Tumigil ang motor, tumigil din yung pick-up na puti kung saan nakasakay si General Barayoga. Binaril niya ng kanang kamay. Tak-tak, 2 putok. Tapos, binilagay niyang baril sa kaliwang kamay tsaka sinundan pa ulit. Pak-pak. Ganon kasimple. Tapos, ayon sa kwento naman ni Nelson, ni Santi Fuentes Mendoza, siya noon ay opisyal, isang mataas na opisyal sa National Capital Region ng PNP Drug Enforcement Group. So kaya siyang kinontak. At tapos kinontak siya ni Colonel Edelberto Leonardo at ibinigay ang proyektong yan. So ngayon pinangakuan siya ni Colonel Edelberto Leonardo na pag nagawa niya yon, dahil binigyan niya ng katwiran na ito'y nasa listahan ng drug list si General Wesley Barayoga. Yun pala, si Leonardo din pala naglalagay sa mga listahan. Ito naman, akala niya accomplishment. Kumita na siya, may accomplishment. So nung napatay na ngayon si Barayoga, ginuha kay Tox yung pera na tao ni Garma. Siguro, hindi ko alam ang koneksyon ni Garma at saka ni Leonardo, bakit si Garma ang magbabayad ng 300,000. So, na nakuha na ni Nelson Mariano ang pera na 300,000 bilang bayad sa pagpatay kay General Barayoga, ay ibinigay niya yung 40,000 kay Colonel Santi Fuentes Mendoza. At kinuha niya 60,000 at ibinigay kay Luloy na siyang pumatay yung 40 at yung 200,000 pesos. Ganun po ang tama ng nangyari. So, ngayon, lumalabas sa kwento na galing naman kay Garma, kumbaga, nakikita ko rito, nililihis ni Garma ang kanya sarili. Gusto niya makalabas. Hindi niya sinabi na siya rin ang kumuha ng litrato ni General Barayoga doon sa loob ng boardroom ng PCSO no nagmi-meeting sila. kinuna niya ang litrato, si General Barayuga, pinorward niya kay Leonardo, at si Leonardo naman, pinorward naman kay Colonel Santi Fuentes Mendoza, at si Santi Fuentes Mendoza naman ay pinorward naman niya kay Nelson Mariano, at si Nelson Mariano, pinorward niya yung litrato ni Barayuga doon sa actual na killer. Ganun po. Tapos, ito po si si General Barayuga ay naging abogado habang siya ay pulis noong 1995. Graduate siya sa Philippine Military Academy, class 1983. So, class Batikas. So, nung naging abogado siya, hindi siya umalis sa PNP. Bagkus, nagserbisyo pa siya sa PNP hanggat sa nagretiro siya sa 2014. So, nagretiro sa 2014 ay kaisa-isang Innova ang bitbit niya. Nung time na yun, nagtatrabaho siya sa PCSO, noong 2016, kinuha siya na general, ng classmate niya si General Pinili. Kasi si General Pinili at that time ay chairman ng Philippine Charity Statistics Office. So ngayon kinuha siya, ginawa siyang board secretary kasi abogado. Ito naman si Barayuga, napaka-honest naman. Kung bakit siya ma-honest, makikita mo naman sa kanyang buhay, kaisa-isang Innova niya na na-acquire pag-retiro niya. Binigay niya sa anak niya, ang anak niya ang gumagamit. Siya naman walang sasakyan, sumasakay lamang sa MRT at bababa siya sa Boni Station na MRT, sasakay ng jeep mula sa Boni Station, tapos papunta sa Sio Boulevard at doon siya pupunta sa PCSO headquarters. Ganun po ang buhay araw-araw ni Barayuga. At nitong huli, nagkaroon ng mga problema na awayan dito sa PCSO, sa STL. So ito na ngayon ang dahilan. Kaya kumontra sila at kinuha siya na testigo ng NBI para doon sa laban sa mga STL. Itong pinag-umpisan, mitsa ng buhay ni Barayuga. So hanggang dyan na muna tayo, mga kababayan, at siguro alam nyo na kung anong kasunod yan. Magandang umaga po. Lalo na kay Maring Odette. Si Gutierrez Nets, paawa sound si Garma, ha? Tapos si Marites Labrador. Tama yan, parang nabawasan ang bagabag dahil sa daming napatay ng tao nila. Romy Bargala, ikulong na yan, isama sila. Siguro makukulong, sigurado ako makukulong na dito yung mga ito. Si LG Naps, lagot ka, Diggs, sa ICC. O malapit na, marami dumadaming ebidensya. So Aldon Moto, Attorney Toto Kausing for Senator. O tumatakbo po ako Senator, ha? Si Revens, nakarma na si Galma et al. Jasmine Celso, good evening, Engineer Toto Kausing, who will be our Senator representing the Filipino people. Ako po, tumatakbo po ako. Si Maring Odette Galino, gigil sa mga ito, kababaeng tao at ginamit talaga yung posisyon sa kasamaan. Tapos iyak, dapat noon inaisip at konsensya na mali ang pag-uutos. Alfonso Iniego, napaikot sila ni Garma. Unong-una, di pinayagang magpadoktor sa labas after nalaglag ng iba pero naligtas ang sarili. Pinayagang magpadoktor sa ospital na saan man niya gusto. Phil Labot, wag mo sabayan ang si Garma. Siguro maingay ako kanina. May pasensya na Phil Labot, ha. So Don Dino Balbon, truth was we know who the mastermind. From Davao? Yes, of course. Odette Galino, ito na ang killer. Yes. Tapos Sam Daniel, umiyak din pala ang demonyo. O yun na matindi. Kita ang katotohanan. Nancy Sinisa, Baroja Ramon, naku, patay ka, Bongo. Utotait, binabanggit na si Bongo at si Leonardo. Lorenzo Mercurio, both Dr. Toto Kasing, Raul Rivera, Jasmine Celso, Raul Rivera. Okay? Si Ray Brio, Byro Juan Niedo. Tapos Jerry Nisperos, Toto Garma still denies na may kinalaman siya sa murder ni Atty. Ray Barayuga. James Cabigas, Eddie Aguilar, Emil Talaugon. Okay? So ngayon siguro may time pa, mga 5 minutes lang man ito. Siguro, minamabuti ko siguro play yung aking speech nung ako ay nagsampa ng aking kandidatura, Certificate of Candidacy, pagka pagka senador, ito pakinggan nyo po ha. Ito pakinggan nyo. Talumpati ni Toto Bunyog Kausing. Oo, matulog tayo. Pakinggan nyo lang muna ang speech ko. Mag-iisang oras pa lang naman.
Mapagpalang hapon sa inyo, sa buong Pilipinas at lahat ng Pilipino. Narito po kami, Partidong Bunyog Pagkakaisa, para ipaglaban ang lahat ng karapatan kasama ng religious freedom pero walang abuso na sexual abuse. Ngayon, una lang aming battle cry, paulit-ulit na sila. Wala namang nagbabago. Kaya kami naman, ang aking misyon bilang isa sa kasapi sa Bunyog Pagkakaisa ay tatapusin ko ang inumpisahang laban ni Ninoy Aquino at ng aking kliyente na si Percy Lapid. Ako po ay dumipensa kay Percy Lapid sa kanyang libel cases, na ubos ko siya bago siya namatay. So ito po ang dahilan kung bakit ako nagkipaglaban. Una, ipaglalaban ko at ng Bunyog ang pagtatag ng katarungan kung saan ang mga tao mismo ang naghusga o kung tinatawag na jury system. Pangalawa, itatayo ko rin ang sistema na kung saan ang maghuhusga sa lahat ng kaso sa ombudsman ay mga tao na rin para matapos na kagad kahit 1 buwan o 2 buwan ang kaso at maubos ng mga kurap sa ating bayan. Pangatlo, paglaban namin ang pagtatayo ng tinatawag na batas laban sa political dynasty. At iyon po ay baka kaya natin gagamitin maaari sa Kongreso o maaari sa Supreme Court. Kung saan meron na po tayong batas ngayon na maaari pagsamantalahan natin na nagsasabi kung ano ang political dynasty. Yan po ay matatagpuan sa Section 9, Paragraph D ng Bangsa Moro Electoral Code na nagbabawal lahat ng mga magkakapatid, lahat ng magtatay at magnanay na tumakbo sa kanilang eleksyon. Sundin natin at isampa natin para sa buong bansa. At pangalawa, mayroon pang isang batas na sa Sangguniang Kabataan, ganun din pagbabawal.
Maraming salamat po. Unang tanong po from UNTV, Dante Amento.
Ay, Sir Dati.
Hi sir, magandang hapon po. Ano lang po ito sir. Alam ko kasi kayo po yung abogado ni Percy, but you have also a case in the Supreme Court. Dinisbar po yata kayo ng Supreme Court. Totoo po ba yun? May update po ba doon sir?
Yes, that is true, and I take that as my badge of medal of valor, because I fought against corruption and that fight resulted in the disbarment. Anyway, that is still under fight and I can still fight for it. Maybe I can assure you that is my proof that I am against totally and absolutely corruption.
Meron pa magtatanong? Ian from philstar.com.
Hello, sir.
Hello po. Concerning yung disbarment po, will you plan to appeal your disbarment to the Supreme Court?
Of course. And if need be, then I will go to the United Nations Commission on Human Rights. Because in that case, I am a victim of a crime against humanity.
Follow up po. You were a petitioner sa recent case, Kausing versus People, which the Supreme Court brought back the prescription to 1 year sa
Yes.
libel. Will you advocate for, and then you expressed sa pag-support po kay Maria Ressa in your previous Facebook
Yes.
post. Will you advocate for the decriminalization of libel in the
Since
future?
the beginning, when I was the legal consultant of National Press Club, we have been advocating for decriminalization of libel. Because you can notice that almost all convictees in libel are professionals in media or journalism. And this is considered as hazards of the profession. And the only way to fight corruption, another way to fight corruption is to make the freedom of expression free. Absolutely.
That's all.
If you have a sore back or a sore body, you probably thought about your mattress.